Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Jermaine Morgan TV. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about using the major pentatonic, so stay tuned. Welcome back to another lesson, and do me a favor, if you're new to this channel, go ahead and press the subscribe button. Also turn on my notifications so you know when I go live and also when I drop a new video. As usual, I appreciate you guys for being here. If you find something helpful on this video, be sure to give it a like and also a comment, and I thank you guys once again. All right, so jumping right into today's lesson, we're on part 2 of our new series that I've started, knowing what to add to my bass line. We're dealing with the major pentatonic. For a little while, we're going to stay in this little major world because we're still dealing with the foundation. On last week, we talked about understanding major chord functions. I hope and pray that that lesson was really helpful for a lot of you guys. If you saw that lesson, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it at the end of this video where you can go and check that video out as well. And as you heard me playing at the beginning of the video, some of you guys may have recognized that bass line, Express Yourself. I mean, that's a pretty common song, so I thought it'd be a good song to just use for groove reference. This is not a lesson about that song, but I will show you guys what that bass line is because I know I'm going to be asked if I don't do it. So we'll go ahead and knock that out of the way, and then we'll move right on into the lesson, how we can start using these pentatonics even in something like that groove. So, all right, so right off, that song is in the key of E flat. All right, so the entire groove is pretty straightforward. It's just a little bit more movement. If you're a beginner, it's just a little bit more movement. But if you're intermediate to advanced, we can get through this pretty quick. All right, so what the groove is, we're doing octave E flats. High E flat, the low E flat. All right, and so we're going 1, 1. I'm using numbers, by the way. We're going 1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1. That's the first half. So again, it's 1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1. That's the first half of it. And then the next part is 4, 4, 3, 2, 5. Again, 1, 1, 3, 4, 5, 3, 1, 4, 4, 3, 2, 5. We'll do it slow. That's the whole groove. All right, so now that we have that out of the way, let's move into this major pentatonic scale. And I'm assuming that everyone knows the pentatonic scale. And if you don't know the pentatonic scale, throughout this channel, be sure to go back and search. I've done extensive talks about using the pentatonic scale, the different shapes of the pentatonic, kind of moving through some of the different shapes of the pentatonic and that kind of thing. But just for some of you guys who are not familiar with it, I'll show it to you really, really quick. All it is 5 notes. You have the 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and then back to 1. All right, and so that brings me to my first point. Being able to recognize that sound, simply recognize that sound. One of the common ways that I teach my students in my coaching classes about recognizing that sound is simply think about the song My Girl by the Temptations. That's your pentatonic scale right there. It's that simple. So if you're ever in a place where you're like, man, I can't remember what that scale sounds like. I know it, but I can't think of it. Think of My Girl. All right? Or, all right, so and one of the things you'll notice as I move through here, there's several different ways that we can play just that one shape. I'm not even getting off into the other shapes of the pentatonic or the other positions of the pentatonic. Just using that major, just using that first position. And that's just 3 ways that I'm using it right now. So the next thing I want to tell you is don't always start from the root. Don't always start from the root. And what I mean by that, you don't always have to do. You can start in different places. There, I started from the 5. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 1. It's the same thing. but I just started from a different place. I can start it from the 2. It feels a little different. That actually kind of lends itself more to that next position of that major pentatonic scale out of the 5 positions. But for the sake of what I'm doing today, I'm just showing you the different ways you can move through it. Because if you notice at the beginning of this video, I played something like a... Now that was a way of using that major pentatonic, but starting with that 5. And I moved through there. Instead of going, it really doesn't matter how you do it, but for the sake of what I did, I slid with it. Okay, so I'm going 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and I'm sliding to that 3 just for effect. And so again, what I'm saying with that is you don't always have to start from root position. I could have done that starting from the 2. And so even there, just something simple. But what I did when I started from the 2, I just grabbed my E flat that was up there. And that helps to be familiar with the fretboard so I know what my other options are. So right now you see we've just used this major pentatonic in the context of the groove and played like 2 or 3 different feels simply by starting from a different place and finding other kind of ways we can navigate around it. Now the third thing that I want to tell you guys about is kind of being able to incorporate it on a different beat. You don't always have to play it on a downbeat. And if you notice what I'm doing here, notice I'm not playing on the downbeat 1E and the 2E and the 3E. On the E of 3 is where I'm placing that. So I'm placing this on the upbeat 1E and the 2E and the 3. Okay, so 2 things. I'm not starting from the root. I'm starting from the 5. I can do it from the 5. I can start from the root. I can start from the 2. It's totally up to me. Whatever I decide to do, I can start from the 3. But the thing about it is, once I know my options of everything that I can do, now I can start experimenting, because a lot of you guys, and the whole reason for this series, a lot of you guys know the major pentatonic scale. A lot of you know all the shapes of the major pentatonic scale, but you haven't been putting it to use because you're not sure how to apply it in the context of a song. So right now I'm just using it over the 1 position, or getting me back to the 1, and I'm just using it in the context of the groove. 1, 2, 3, 4. And notice I started from that 5. I started where I was. So note that as well. The note on this particular one where I started from, I was already on that note. So I'm already on that 5. So instead of starting on the 1, I start building my line off that 5. So I'm starting on the 5 and I'm working my way back up to the 1. So you see what I'm saying? So now I can use those things to my advantage, and I can just build my major pentatonic. And notice when I said I started from the 5, I'm not doing the 5 position major pentatonic. I'm doing the major pentatonic over the 1 position. I'm just starting on the 5. I'm not starting on the root position, but it just happens to work because guess what? My 5 is still in that 1 position. And that's just like starting my scale from that. All right, so these are just 3 ways that you guys can start using the major pentatonic scale if you haven't already been doing this stuff, to implement it in the groove so you can get a little bit more stuff happening with your groove rather than just playing the same thing. I mean, even if you start doing the arpeggios, and that's for a whole nother lesson. But you know, I just wanted to give you something that you could use that's practical, that you can start incorporating right away. So find you some grooves. Matter of fact, go ahead and pull that song up on YouTube or something and kind of jam out to that song, and that way you can implement these things the way that you just heard me implement them, and you can have a little fun while you're doing it. Remember, this is all a journey. I want you guys to always have fun with this instrument. I don't care if you've been playing 2 months or 30 years, it doesn't matter. You should always be having fun on this instrument, so make sure you do that. So that pretty much wraps up this lesson. Now, if you want to continue as we dig into a little bit more of what we're doing with this major pentatonic scale and some other type of ways that you can use it, I invite you to become a part of the monthly membership. As I always say, if you're not a member, you're probably missing out, because there's so much content that I've covered. Some things that I don't get to cover here on YouTube, I have covered there in the monthly membership. So over 150 or so lessons that are available for you to enhance your playing, to enhance what it is you're doing. I invite you to become a member, and the link will be in the description, so check that out. And also, guys, I want to make mention, if you're not following me on a regular basis, then you'll probably be missing out on my Tuesday morning Grooves and Motivation Talks. They're really, really cool. It gives me a way to connect with you. I get to know you. You get to know me a little bit more outside of this lesson. I come on, I play for a little while, and then we talk, and I share some things with you that are very encouraging, some things that help you along in your career, some things that I've learned along my way that I feel that would be very beneficial to you. So I invite you every Tuesday morning at 7:30 EST. If you are awake, join me live, and I'll see you there. All right, guys, I'm out. Take care. Peace.